Yeah.
Like, it's side lying. I'm like,
They're actually getting pressure.
I'm putting her over my feet. She's doing a back bend. We're really doing all this crazy advanced stuff. It's inside the subscription service.
So yeah, whenever you go into his subscription service, he has it broken down like it'll be like everything that you'll basically see my training from when I very first started back in 2018, 19, whatever it was. 2019, I think, something like that. Anyway, you'll go in there and see like every single class. You'll see like Heidi Childers. You'll see like her name, and then you drop down. It comes down with all of her videos from the pregnancy and that kind of stuff. Danielle, boom. It'll have like table tie classes. So it'll be like table tie in Dallas, table tie in Lauderstein, table tie, whatever. And so that he has it broken down in that sense. And one of the things that Robert's working on is creating like basically like the body to where you would look at a certain body part and get videos for that. That is where his goal, correct, Robert, am I over speaking?
So,
people have had trouble with the amount of information.
we're trying to take the subscription service from DOS to Windows.
Yeah.
So instead of text-based, it's actual graphics. And I'll have a map of the body where you click on the shoulder and it shows you.
Yes, so did you see how at first you were like kind of behind? So you need to be at this like angle because we're coming in and we're going towards the feet. I almost come in right into here. So right where all this good stuff comes in. I'm gonna go grab my little towel just so you can use it because it might be useful with D. So I love this little chamois towel, right? This is one of these towels that you buy from Walmart to just like dry your car off with. I found that this is perfect for using in these areas because it's just big enough that I can make it bigger or more dampening, but it's not gonna be in the way. It's also kind of soft, so it's not gonna like grind up their skin. So this is the size towel that I use for situations like this. Yeah, basically. You have a texture issue?
Those mess up my calluses where they just yeah, they get stuck and I can hear them and I was like, no.
What is this?
They get stuck in my calluses like this.
On your hand? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm using this on my knee.
I can't stand the texture of those.
It has two different sides of texture.
Yeah, no, I got you.
You're interesting. I have never ran into that issue with a client ever. You know what I mean? So that's why I use it. Because for me, it's like the pillowcase I'll use on like the neck, but then it's not quite big enough for me to fold up enough to use other places. It might just be like a little too thin. So that's why I use that towel rather than like, say I use like a normal size towel for like leg stuff, but typically I'll just use the yoga blankets.
So is this one the same where I don't remember the back as much.
So say if she's doing this work and say if her knees are in the hamstrings, because you will run into this and it's too much.
But
This is what you switch into.
Do you palm up and then same thing, you go back to thumbs just like we did on the other part? Or
That's how we teach you so that you have the Thai basics. The way that I do it in my sessions is I palm up, I explore the calves, I go up to the hamstrings, I bring my hands to the side of the hips, I put my knees straight into the hamstrings. I'll sit up, kind of explore that area a little bit, come in and do compressions, the QL, the glutes, rocking, going across the body to open up that tissue.
You don't really do thumbs or anything.
I never use thumbs.
If you have
Unless,
to
you know.
if you have to do an hour of Thai, do you do less or do you just move through things faster?
One body part and focus.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Like that's what I tell them. Well, I don't offer hours because
If you have to.
but I will. There is a thing. When I do mobile, I offer hours because I'm charging $120 an hour. Sure, I'll come to you for $120 an hour and do an hour, whatever. I don't. But yeah, you definitely do less things because otherwise you're not.
Or just like one movement of each thing.
Yeah, I mean.
It's easy to do. I mean, with this stuff, it's so efficient. Like you're working on 4 body parts at once,
Yeah.
oftentimes. So it's easy to do like prone and supine real quick and do the whole body in an hour of Thai. I probably wouldn't do side lying because it's a timing issue.
Yeah, that's why I
But it
always
just
say
depends on what it is. So they're having a neck and shoulder issue. I put them right into side lying
Exactly.
immediately.
Exactly.
And I may not put them prone, or I may not put them supine. You know, just you don't do it all because you can't.
It just depends on what they're there for.
But then I'll say, hey, there are so many amazing things I would love to do with you, but we have this time constraint, so I can't.
Yep.
But yeah, because think about it. Say if I tried to still touch everything. Basically, sure, I'd be touching everything, but then like nothing would actually be addressed. You know what I mean?
But some
Like
people want
everything
that,
generally
I think.
feels better.
They just want to be
Yeah.
touched everywhere.
Yeah,
And there's
those aren't my
different-
clients. I mean, it's true. You know, they're not. They're, you know, I'm looking, and that's just how you market yourself. And maybe you'll have those clients that you just enjoy working with them, and they're like that kind of stuff. So maybe you'll still open your services to them because you're like, I like working with this human being. You know. But out calls, if people want an hour, they generally that's what they want. They're not actually wanting to feel better because otherwise they would make more time for themselves. Yeah, I make sure, because you know my goal is to get them to their goal as quickly as we can, to get them into maintenance mode. That is always my goal. So I say, hey, you know, I leave 90 minutes available as an option because, you know, for first-time clients, I want you to have the opportunity to only dedicate 90 minutes of your time, to only spend 120 of your dollars, to make sure that this is what you want to do. I don't want you to lock yourself into a 2-hour session, 2-3-hour session if you realize, ooh, this isn't my thing. So I offer the 90-minute sessions for first-time clients only. Sometimes I'll allow clients with kids, crazy schedules. I'm like, look, I get it. I don't want you to not be able to receive this work over here. So the way you were doing it, yeah. I want you to have the ability to receive this work, but generally I'm not going to tell other people that like, hey, I do hours or I do 90s.
That's good
Grab
right
my
there.
shoulder cap and pull back. Shoulder cap.
So I want you to do one more, and the second one, whenever you're coming down, because that looks beautiful. I want you to feel what it feels like to not have that connection the entire time as you're dropping it down. So go in for a second pass, the same way she did at the same stopping point. But when you're coming down, slowly, and just let her feel the difference.
You ready? Breathe in.
That's right there.
Now release that arm. Now, which one did you like better? The consistent touch the whole way down?
You want to do the first one again?
Watch, feel that difference of how it was, just these slight little tiny differences make such a different sensation.
I'm ready. Breathe in.
That's good. I don't know which one I like better.
See, for me, like it's such, the way that you did it the second and first time, like that's the way we want to do it. Like it just feels so much more supported. You know, you're like completing the stroke is kind of how it feels, you know?
Sorry, I just didn't get it move around.
It's all good.
I'm like stuck in one place.
You feel supported?
Yeah, it looks good from here. I can see there's no gap between your body. It looks super supported. She looks super relaxed. And so you can work both legs in IT bend, right? Making sure not be too sharp in the IT, we're being more broad. You can create like that sawing effect. You could take that bottom arm, like your foot arm, and bring it, once you feel like you want to, into the lower leg while you're working that IT band on the upper side of the leg.
Thank you.
So with how slow these sessions move, the clients come in, they've got a 2-hour session, and they've got 70,000 things that they have problems with. I'm like, okay, we've got a lot here. So I want you to tell me, what is the number one thing that you want me to work on today? What is the number one thing that's bothering you as you come in? And I make them kind of like, where are we at, 1, 2, 3, so that I know as I'm building this session, that I'm making sure that I'm giving it, that I'm formulating it the way that you need. And that thing's really given some clarity. So, because you're like, God, I need to do all of it. Like, I've got 2 hours. What do you really need me to focus on? What is today's goal? Because I'm going to touch all these things. They're going to be addressed, but what am I actually going to focus on?